So, thank you, Scott, for being here. Thank you for being a big supporter of Skift. You've been, if I can humbly say so, you're probably one of the, well, you were the first CMO in the industry to latch on to Skift. It may have been like month one since we launched. So we're very, very thankful for your support from the start.
Boy, what were we thinking, huh?
I know, seriously.
You guys, let me just say, you've done a great service to the industry. I think you guys are really pushing the thinking on the digital marketing side of this business, which is great because we all know that travel needs a facelift in its marketing, and wonderful facility and a great venue. Thanks.
Thank you. So, thank you. So we came out with this manifesto, as I mentioned earlier this morning, the future of travel in 2020. As I mentioned, for people who are not here, in the magazine that you have, there's a version of it. If you don't have it, you can get the magazine from up there as well. We had, it was about the future of travel in 2020. We want to talk about the technology that's enabling the future of travel. One of the points that we talked about was that the business future of travel is at the intersection of tech and marketing. What does that mean? Is the technology there to create the future of marketing?
I think it's getting there. I wouldn't say it's there yet. I think we have a new vision for the future of travel marketing now that we didn't have several years ago. And the technology platforms are getting put in place now that are going to enable that. I think we will see a dramatic shift in the types of things we as consumers are served up by suppliers and intermediaries going forward. You know, look, if we're going to be successful in this, we need big scaled technical platforms. As Amadeus, we're a big IT provider to the industry. We're working with lots of airlines, lots of hoteliers and intermediaries out there. They're all making millions of dollars of investment in these IT platforms today in the hopes of being able to identify who's shopping, what they're shopping for, and putting their best bundle offer on the shelf for those travelers. We know that's the Holy Grail, but the Holy Grail has to scale to meet those needs. And today, the platforms just aren't quite there. The CRM is disconnected.
And do you think the platforms are not there from an airline or hotel perspective, or do you think it's from you as a company that's trying to provide those platforms?
I think look, these are big, expensive investments for the large chains, the large airlines to make. They are moving their way there. Trying to get a better picture of the traveler, and our industry is very unique. The data is very fragmented. And when you think about travel, nobody gets a great view of the complete journey. You might see a single piece of it, and we're all trying to figure out how we get that complete view of what that traveler is looking for and who that traveler is. They are in the process of connecting their CRM platforms with their distribution channels.
Yeah.
So whether it's direct or their indirect channels. And I think that's what's exciting. And I think that's what we're going to see a big change at, and certainly that's what we're working on with a lot of the industry right now.
Okay. So the future of travel tech is moving east, which was our way of saying that innovation is happening in a lot of other places in the world outside of Silicon Valley, outside of US. Being a global company, obviously you have a good view on sort of what are the pockets of travel tech innovation happening, what's enabling it, what are the macro and micro conditions that are sort of leading to it. From your perspective, what does that mean?
We work with lots of startups all over the globe. And I'm fascinated every year. We'll sign up hundreds of startups and all the new ideas that the entrepreneurs have out there about how to market travel. I mean, it really is fascinating. And you're right, as a big global company, we don't really think about East versus West. Yes, we're based in Western Europe. We've got big dev centers here in North America. We've got large dev centers in Asia as well. The industry is required to be global because of the scale and everything that's required to compete in this business. What we do know is that when we see the startups who are successful, you're right, they have some common characteristics. How many startups do we have out in the audience today? Raise your hand if you're a startup.
All right.
Great.
Sorry, my hand too.
I think we see a few things. It's not about East or West, it's about are they in the conditions that are kind of ripe for incubating startups? And that means there's experienced engineers there, you've got the contractors, you've got the providers that serve that whole industry. Silicon Valley is the pinnacle of that kind of an incubator and ecosystem today out there. and we see the results, of that type of an ecosystem. It was your previous guest.
And you're investing in startups. The Blue Smart people announced investment from you today.
Yeah, we do occasionally make investments. We've got an Amadeus Ventures group that invests in certain startups. We try to make sure that we've got a vision and a view of what third parties are doing out there that is different than our vision. As a big global company, it's always your risk, right? You get too enamored with your existing business model. You want to make sure you've got those third-party influences, on your business.
We're actually doing a series with you called The Takeoff, which you saw a clip of here. We played some of the clips as well. This is for now, a 3-part series on the mindset of a travel startup and sort of how do startups think about various parts of building their business and travel, and how does Amadeus think about sort of helping them and working with them as well.
Yeah, we, as I said, we work with a lot of startups out there. The startups need someone to help them navigate the maze of the travel industry. Those of you who have been in this industry a while, you know all these acronyms. You know ARC and BSP and PNR. I know all this stuff because I've been in it for a long time, but I wish I didn't have to know it. But you do if you're going to participate in this industry, and we help them understand that kind of lexicon of the industry so that they can kind of navigate through it. We've seen a lot of successful models out there. We've seen a lot of unsuccessful models out there. When you kind of stray from your vision, your initial vision, you try to be all things to all people out there, it makes it very difficult for those startups to be successful. Those startups who have built a great team stay focused on their vision. They may pivot a little bit left or right, but they stay focused on their vision. We see some more success on that end.
So we've talked about this we did the mega trends for 2015 magazine as well, our first magazine we did, where we said hospitality is now leading innovation in travel. In the manifesto, we talked about it as well a lot. The hotels are being rewired for everything is being rethought about hotels, from the check-in to guest experience to everything else as well. I know Amadeus is working a lot in hospitality as well. I think, didn't you make an acquisition?
We've made a number of them, but you're right. It's a big bet in hotel IT. We recently signed a large deal with IHG to re-platform IHG. We also purchased Newmarket International.
CIO of IHG is here tomorrow.
Fantastic. And as well as cloud-based PMS platforms. The industry needs to unshackle itself from the legacy technology. A lot of the things that we're talking about here just aren't going to be possible on the legacy technology. We're going to have to move to a place where we've kind of got an above property-based platform where we've got common views of customer profiles, availability, inventory, loyalty, so we can leverage those things and present a consistent message, to the traveler. And today, we're just not there.
Well, but that's one challenge. On the other hand, the consumer is mobile and using 20 of these devices, and how do hotels have a holistic view of the multi-device consumer on this side that's using a tablet, mobile, laptop, whatever else they're using?
You're right. We've got a new traveler out there, and the new traveler is mobile, he's always on, he's always informed. And you're right, we've got to build the platforms that allow us to interact with that traveler based on where they are, what they're doing, their new expectations. And like I said, we've got some more work to do as an industry to get there.
Yeah. You had this very interesting study earlier this year about travel tribes. Explain for people who don't know what that was. I think there was 3 kinds of tribes, or?
Yeah, we took a look several years ahead and tried to think about, who is it that we're going to be marketing to going forward. And we looked out to the year 2030 and thought about the technology trends and the demographic trends.
We did 2020. You wanted to go.
Yeah, we're 10 years better than you guys, Rafat.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's very common themes when you think about where people are headed. Some of the more interesting ones were related to the whole kind of cultural travelers that really wanted to be immersed in the local culture. I think we heard some of that today from some of the speakers. And some of the other ones were related to what we called social capital seekers. And these are the folks, we all know a lot of them, who travel to post. They're basically their own self-publishers, creating their own audiences. And we believe there's actually a big business model out there in the future for people who will be self-publishers and create their own followings and their own brands. And travel is the most dynamic, compelling content to create a personal brand around.
Instagram is all about that.
Absolutely. I think it's fantastic, and I'm sure we will see as we go forward the intersection of social with a lot more of the data and the purchase of travel going forward. I think we're just kind of at the cusp of some of these new types of points of sale that we'll see going forward, but it's a very exciting time for the industry.
Thank you, and congratulations, speaking of social, on winning the Skifty's award for the best B2B tech brand and something like that. But it was essentially, well, it was the best B2B brand on social. That's true. Yeah, that's what it was, which you guys are very good at. All right, thank you very much.
That.
Thank you,
Thanks
Scott.
for 5.